What's up guys, this is Austin with Hot Rod Heaven. I'm here with Mark today to talk to him a little bit about his car. We've been super excited about this, man. We've been talking about filming this for a while, so thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Tell me, what kind of car do we have here?
It's a 1970 Chevelle. I've had the car for about 9 years now.
Okay.
It was NA for about 4 years, and then we got into boosted stuff, and now we're in turbos.
What was the car when you first got it? Was it a clean car or?
I bought it with a rod knock because I got a good deal on it, and I basically built it just as a stock rebuild, or that was the initial thing.
Yeah, okay.
Never intended to go fast.
That's how it always starts. Huh?
Always starts that way, 100%. And yeah, it has morphed every year into just more money, faster, and
it's like
here
a
we
drug,
are.
Man. Yeah, exactly. I see that you have the SS badges. This is not an original SS?
Not a true SS, no.
Okay.
Story I got, the car was an original Malibu.
Okay.
And then the guy supposedly had a junk SS El Camino, so he did the dash, everything that's SS on it. He did a good job on it. That's the story I got.
Okay.
So the way I got it literally paint everything is just the way it sits.
Wow. This is the original paint that was when you got it?
Yeah. And
wow, man, it looks clean, dude.
God, I've had it 10 years, and I think they said at that point it was like 15 or 18-year-old paint job.
Wow.
So it's been on there a long time. It's starting to show, but
honestly, it looks pretty good though.
She's a good 30-footer.
I see you also have like drag week. You did all those years. That's crazy. How was that?
It was awesome. It was 16 was our first year. My buddy Ed Schwartz, we went to high school together. He convinced me to do it, and so we're up in Michigan, Ohio. That was the route that year.
Okay.
And first day, he blew his car up.
Oh God.
So I'm all by myself, my wife and I. But it worked out. We were convinced after that, so we've done it just about every year. So we didn't do 17 because it was in Chicago, and I just didn't want to go to Chicago. And then 2020 was canceled. I just put the line through it.
Yeah, I like that though.
For
that's cool.
And then we did Sick Week.
Yeah, and how was that? That was in Florida.
That was in Florida,
that was awesome.
and dipped into Georgia at South Georgia.
Okay.
But that was amazing. Yeah, we literally drove the car from here to Bradenton where it started. Yeah. Did the whole route, and then just drove home.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So that's great, man. I think that's really cool that you seem to drive this car a lot, obviously with the drag weeks and everything. How often do you take this to the track?
Not as often as I would like to.
Yeah.
Now that we've got the car pretty dialed in, suspension wise and stuff like that, I want to start going more so we can get a little bit quicker. I'm building a new motor for it. This motor is actually really shouldn't be going as fast as it is. We've been 9 flat at 149.5, and that was on 14 pounds, and this motor is the same motor that's been in it for 9 years. The heads got changed, but other than that, nothing else. I would never intended, like I said, to do what I'm doing. Yeah. So what we're doing with it, I'm super happy.
I know it's a big block, but what are the cubic inches on the motor?
I say 496 usually, but usually it's actually a 489, which is only a 30 over. We didn't go 60 on it, so 496 is more commonly used. You say 489, people look at you sideways like, what? Yeah. So I say 496, but it's actually a 489. It was original 454, got a 1/4 inch stroke crank in it, got AFR 305 V2 heads on it, the Edelbrock intake, got a full Holley system. Everything is Holley on this thing.
What size are the turbos?
These are S475 Borg Warners. They're just stock off the shelf, $1,200 for both of them.
I love what you did here with this. How did you get the inspiration for that?
I'd seen a few on the internet that had them kind of like this, but they were sitting further back, and I just thought, man, it'd look really cool if it was flush. I actually wanted them even more flush because these turbos are so ginormous. I couldn't get it any closer, but that worked out well. These are actually the covers for Pro Charger, so it's good rock guard, and it worked out well.
Yeah,
so
it looks so good.
I get a lot of compliments on that.
Yeah, I do like that.
It took me forever to do it, to get them just,
it's so funny. You would think that wouldn't take too long, but
you would think.
The little things always seem to take the longest.
Yeah, and it's the thing that gets recognized the most.
Yeah,
so,
right?
It's paid off.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And we were talking a little bit off camera. The fab work is really good. You did that yourself, correct?
Correct, yeah. Everything I've fabbed, I tack it together or tape it together in some instances. And I got a buddy of mine, Austin, that did most of the welding.
What about the transmission that you're running in this?
It originally was an FTI. Because the tunnel on these are really tight, it's hard to get a bell housing cover. So it was just made more sense to upgrade to a new SFI case. So when I did that, there's a guy that I used that just basically switched everything over and freshened it up. So it's a fully built Turbo 400 manual valve body, trans brake. It's got a PTC 9.5-inch converter in it.
What about the suspension on the car?
Everything is TRZ. Everything that moves, is TRZ. Everything. I got the shocks from them. AFCO's in the back, Strange in the front. I just put their new the anti-roll bar in it, and man, what a difference. I had a bolt-in one. Okay. It was good for like to about 150, 60 foot times, and then it started twisting after that. And now with theirs, we went my fastest 60 is a 130.
Wow.
Man, what a difference cars just as level as can be. So
awesome,
I'm tickled.
What about the exhaust? I mean, I'm assuming you had to do this custom here.
The inspiration was cost, because I really wanted it to go all the way to the back, but I priced it out and it was crazy. You know, it was like $2,000 just with no mufflers or anything, just to run it to the back. And I was like, you know what? We'll dump them right out front for now. So it's actually not too bad.
Who does most of the tuning on the car?
My buddy, Jason Chains Hager. He's the only one that's touched it. He's really good. I wouldn't be where I'm at without him, that's for sure.
All right, so let's talk about the wheels a little bit. I love the wheel choice that you did on this. What are the wheels that you have on the fronts and the back?
So the front and back of the Weld RTSs, and then these are, I think they're 5x17s, 4 or 5, something like that. Been a while.
Yeah.
And then the backs are 15x10 or the 5.5 inch backspace. Yeah, we went with Willwood brakes, front and rear, so it's got disc brakes all the way around.
What about the tires on the fronts and the back? What are you running as far as tire-wise goes?
Mickey Thompson's in the front, so they're like Sportsman, I think. And then the backs are, I have street tires, and then I've got the radial tires.
As far as the rear end, does it have the original rear end in it, or?
Yeah, it's the original 12 bolt. I never went with a 9 inch, probably should have. Got a 331 gear, strange spool, Sprains 35 spline axles. Yeah, we wanted to keep the interior stock basically, because it is a street car. So everything inside here is basically stock except for the front seats, which are Kirky seats. Got a 10-point cage in it, done by Cardi Race Cars over in Seminole, Florida. Got the Cheetah shifter. I converted it over to air shifter. I got the parachute handle on there, which at 4,000 pounds and 150 mile an hour, I'm using it more and more. So yeah, she's a big girl. It's just a Grant steering wheel. Got the trans brake and the bump button on it. It's removable. Did that because of getting in and out of the cage when the cage was new was odd to me, and now I'm comfortable with it. I don't even take it off anymore.
And I also see that you have the original ignition in there, which I think is honestly probably one of the coolest things as far as interior goes, just because it really draws back to that old classic feel. So that's really cool. And then what about the dash here? I see you have the original cluster in the back. What is the screen that you have on the front there?
I got a Holley 7-inch dash on there. That basically shows me everything the car's doing. None of the factory gauges work.
Well, I think that wraps it up there. I say we get some cameras in the car and take it for a spin. What do you think?
Sounds great.
All right, let's do it. Dude, oh my goodness.
It was like half throttle.
Half throttle? Oh, I can't imagine what it's like going on the track in this thing. Holy moly.
I wasn't sure how much I could get on. I've never done a street hit from a dead stop, so I just eased forward and then.
For sure. Dude.
All right, that was fun.
Dang, dude. It's like gradually just.
Well, I was just rolling into it. I didn't stab it.
Gradually just throwing me into the back of the seat. This thing sounds so good, dude. I love the echo off of like just passing by everything too. Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah, that took a little bit of getting used to.
I don't know if I heard you or if I remember when we were talking earlier. What's the horsepower that this thing is pushing out? Do you know?
Right now, just based off the calculators, we never dynoed it, but for it to run 9 flat at 150, at the crank should be right around, I think it was 1100. 1100 at the crank.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you doing this, dude. Me and my dad have been talking about doing your car for a while, so I'm happy we can finally get it done.
I did want to run an 8 first, but more so, I was scared to death of the interview. That was no big deal. I enjoyed it.
Uh-oh, little Miata. Do you have like Hondas and Miatas and all that stuff ever try to race you?
All the time.
Dude.
The best thing I get is when I pull up to a stoplight and, Grandpa and Grandma pull up, and they're just thumbs up, and you can see it in their eyes. They're like reminiscing.
Yes.
So then I just, I lay it down as I leave, and they just, and then when I slow back down and they go by me, they're just you know, grinning from ear to ear,
Yeah, that's
thumbs up. It's just, it's cool.
Well, that does it for this video, guys. If you want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you next time.